Hello again, watch friends. Welcome back. No one can argue with the fact that Seiko has more watches than Carter has little liver pills. Okay, that comparison is a little bit dated. Look it up. But Seiko does have a multitude of watches in every conceivable style and price. Occasionally, a Seiko model is created that gets little attention, but is nonetheless well made, attractive, and worthy of consideration. Such is the case with the SARX027 Presage automatic dress watch with a white enamel dial. First off, this is a JDM watch, meaning Japan Domestic Market, indicating that it's only available in Japan. It used to be the case that many of the really nice Seiko watches were not available outside of Japan. Over the last many years, this seems to have improved. For example, the Alpinist, the SARX017, which is billed as a JDM watch, can be had from Amazon in the US, of all places. Anyway, JDM watches often don't get the exposure outside of dedicated Seiko watch enthusiasts. The really exciting thing about the SARX027 is the enamel dial. At this price point, it's almost unheard of to offer an enamel dial in what is otherwise an understated dress watch. Why, you ask? Because making an enamel dial is very difficult, and the process has a very high defect rate. The cast iron based enamel dials are made by baking after the enamel material is applied, and the possibility of cracking is very high. Seiko makes their enamel dials in-house, just like everything else, including the movement. You won't find an enamel dial on a Swiss watch for less than a couple grand. Seiko should not be new to you, especially if you're watching this. But if it is, just know that Seiko was started by Kintaro Hattori in 1881 when he opened a shop in Tokyo where he repaired timepieces. In 1892, he started a watchmaking factory where he started making his own pocket watches, table, and wall clocks. Seiko's first wristwatch, and the first wristwatch made entirely in Japan, was created in 1913 and was called the Laurel. It wasn't until 1924 that the first Seiko branded watch appeared. Seiko now makes dozens of models in every conceivable price point, from inexpensive but surprisingly good Seiko 5 models to Grand Seiko and Creedor models costing thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. So let's talk about the details of this Presage model. The claim to fame of this watch is the beautiful enamel dial. The classically styled aesthetic reminds me of traditional pocket watches. Minimal text on the dial, just Seiko at 12 o'clock and automatic 23 joules at 6 o'clock. The word automatic is written in script, which adds a touch of class to the gestalt. Large printed Arabic numerals in a classic font make time reading easy, and the contrast between the hour numerals and the white dial is very pleasing. A discrete minute track provides a useful detail. Spade hands add to the traditional look of the piece. Having a slightly different shape of the hour and minute hands is in keeping with the dress watch aesthetic of the SARX027. I like that the minute hand reaches all the way to the minute track, while the hour hand points directly at the hour marker. The seconds hand has no counterbalance, which I think is a little bit unusual. Still, it's very fine and easy to track the seconds. This is clearly a dress watch, so no loom is applied anywhere on the dial or on the hands. The date window at 3 o'clock is small and is not outlined. The black numerals on a white background are easy to read. Fortunately, the date window is not overly distracting. It's a good thing that it's such a subtle feature. The 40mm stainless steel case has a fine brushed and polished finish. The bezel stands proud of the case, which adds to the 13.1 millimeter thickness. A little on the tall side for a dress piece. The onion-style crown is signed with the letter S, and it's easy to grip. I don't like teeny crowns because they're often difficult to use. Lug-to-lug distance is a relatively short 47 millimeters. The polished lugs droop down so that although the watch is tall, it still hugs the wrist. A scratch-resistant flat sapphire crystal is on the front, and a screw-in hardlex see-through case back allows you to see the movement. I don't mind that Seiko decided to save a little money on the case back material, since it's less important than the dial crystal. A sapphire crystal on the back would have raised the cost of the watch. Water resistance is a surprising 100 meters, so although you may not take this watch to the local swimming hole, it won't suffer the occasional surprise rainstorm or water splashes when doing the dishes. However, the crown does not screw down. A glossy crocodile strap with deployant clasp is included with the SARX. The strap looks good and complements the classic style. The signed deployant clasp with a dual push-button release makes it easy to mount and remove the watch from the wrist. Also, a deployant clasp minimizes the wear and tear on a strap that would otherwise occur from constantly bending the strap around the buckle. Strap width is a standard 20 millimeters, so changing out the strap should be easy if you so desire. Although I'm not sure why you do that, since the supply strap is so surprisingly nice. It's not like you'd put this watch on a NATO or rubber strap. The movement in this SARX is the Seiko 6R15 caliber automatic, which is self-winding, hand-windable, and hacks. Hacking just means that the seconds hand is stopped when the crown is pulled out to set the time, which is helpful for setting the precise time. This is the same ubiquitous movement used in the SARB models like the 033, the 035, and 017 Alpinist. The 6R15 is also used in the Seiko Prospex and other Presage models. It has a generous 50-hour power reserve and beats at 21,600 beats per hour. The rotor on this movement is bidirectional, so winding is somewhat quick and more efficient. As you might know, the 6R15 is an upgraded version of the Seiko SARX027, which is found on the Seiko 5 models. The upgrades include the hacking, hand winding, and the longer 50-hour power reserve. Seiko states that the 23-jewel Seiko 6R15 caliper accuracy is plus 25 to minus 15 seconds per day, although many owners report better results. Like me, the time grapher results show how great a Seiko 6R15 movement can be. Out of the box, I'm getting an accuracy rate that is spot on, 0 seconds per day. The beat error, which shows how equal the swings of the balance wheel are, is also spot on. A 0.0 measurement means that the balance wheel is, well, perfectly balanced, if you will. Finally, the amplitude of 261 degrees shows that the engine is ticking strongly. All in all, the Seiko 6R15 movement in this SARX is in excellent condition, and not only within the Seiko spec, but also within cost specs of minus 4 to plus 6 seconds per day. So what's not to like? There are two factors, I think, that could be mentioned. The first is that the case is rather tall, especially for a dress watch, which is the aesthetic of what this watch is going for. Luckily, the size is quite contemporary, but a slimmer design would be most appreciated. The other aspect of the SARX027 that could be criticized is the dial. Some may find it a little bit plain. I don't, but I can see where that might be expressed. I think the way the hands contrast with the white dial and the minimal text is just about right. If this piece was a tool watch, then more dial writing might be appropriate. So, in summary, Seiko produces several watches with an enamel dial. In addition to the SARX027, these include the Presage chronograph SRQ023 and the SPB049, a tonneau-shaped watch which uses the same 6R15 engine. The SARX sells for under $600, and although it's a JDM watch, it's available from Long Island Watch and from other online watch sellers. The SARX027 has a classic style and even has a little pocket watch aesthetic going on. I like it very much. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your watch friends, and subscribe if you already haven't, so that you can be alerted of new content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.